Hello there, dear viewer. You are right on time for the Catholic Focus with me, Sasha Elizabeth, and with the Eric Maluki as the sign language interpreter. Now, today on this edition, from matters of national development to calls for global solidarity, we bring you the top stories shaping lives here at home and beyond. We begin in Kisumu County, where Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has unveiled a 1.3 billion Kenyan shillings fisheries and training center. The facility, expected to breathe new life into Kenya's blue economy, is poised to transform fish farming and improve livelihoods around Lake Victoria. Alan Ndiva starts us off with that story from Kabonyo.
A new dawn is breaking for Kenya's fisheries sector. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki today led the launch of the Kabonyo Fisheries Aquaculture Training Center at cash 1.3 billion government investment set to reshape fish farming in the country.
Sehemu hii itakuwa sehemu ya kukuza mbegu maalum ya samaki, aina mbalimbali ya samaki ambayo imekuzwa kisayansi, kitaalamu, ili tuitumie kuongeza samaki wetu katika ziwa la Victoria, na pia wananchi wengi ambao wanaishi sehemu hii ambao hawako karibu na ziwa waweze kupewa hizo mbegu wakakuze samaki katika mashamba yao. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio madhumuni mkuu ya mradi huu. Huu sio mradi peke yake ambao tuko nao sehemu hii. Vilevile tunatengeneza sehemu za kutengenezea samaki. Already tumekamilisha project 3. Moja Siaya, moja Busia na moja hapa Kisumu. Lakini tuna zingine 9 ambazo tunaanza. Zile tunaita fish landing sites. Fish landing site ni sehemu za wavuvi kuleta samaki zao. Zimewekwa vyumba vya barafu vya kuzuia kuoza kwa samaki. Kuna soko ya samaki pale, mahali wavuvi watatengenezea biashara yao mahali pasafi. Kwa hivyo hizo landing site 9 na zile ambazo zitaanza mwezi ujao zitatangazwa, mtaziona kwa gazeti, na vilevile kuna zile 3 ambazo already tumeshikamiliza. Kule Siaya nafikiri ni Luanda Kotieno, yes. Na kule Busia na pia mahali kunaitwa Mukoba pale Busia, na kuna ingine moja Migori inaitwa Sori. Hizo zimekamilisha na tumeshazipeana kwa wananchi kutumia.
The center is expected to become one of the most modern fish hatcheries in Eastern Africa, with the capacity to produce 28 million fingerlings annually. This will support cage and pond fish farming, as well as efforts to restock Lake Victoria. Set for completion by June 2026, the facility will provide fingerlings and feed to both small-scale and commercial fish farmers across the region.
Mradi huu utagharimu bilioni 1.3 na madhumuni yake, kwanza kabisa itakuwa kituo cha kufunza wataalamu wa mambo ya uchumi wa samaki na mambo ya uvuvi na masuala yote ya uchumi wa ziwa. Na hii itakuwa sehemu maalum ama specialized institution ya train wale ambao watatusaidia katika kukuza uchumi wetu hapa Kisumu, uchumi wa Nyanza, uchumi wa Kenya, sehemu zote ambazo zinategemea sehemu hii ama ziwa hii la Victoria.
The project is a key pillar in the government's blue economy strategy, with a focus on job creation, food security, and sustainable development for communities that rely heavily on fishing. Reporting for the Catholic Focus, I'm Alan Ndiva.
Well, some great news over there for the people in the Lake region. and we wait to see how that unfolds. Now from Kisumu, we head back here in Nairobi, where the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, has launched a nationwide safety awareness initiative dubbed Car Safe Mtaani campaign, aimed at curbing rising cases of energy-related accidents across the country. The campaign comes in response to alarming statistics from the 2024 Energy and Petroleum Statistics Report, which show a spike in incidents from 116 to 153, resulting in 98 deaths and 61 serious injuries. Petroleum tanker accidents and electrical faults have been identified as major areas of concern. Speaking at the launch, EPRA Director General Daniel Kipto called for shared responsibility across the board, saying a Cabinet Secretary for the Energy and Petroleum Honorable James Opio Wandai also echoed the call for action, emphasizing the need for a sustainable, for safety culture. The campaign will feature featured community activations, consumer training, and stakeholders outreach nationwide. It also promotes the safe use of LPG, adoption of electric and autogas vehicles, and the broader use of clean energy. EPRA says the Car Safe Mtaani initiative is a critical step towards creating a safer, more energy-conscious Kenya, empowering citizens with knowledge and tools to use energy safely, efficiently, and sustainably.
With the knowledge and skills that is required to handle energy safety and responsibility. On behalf of the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority fraternity, I just want to thank everybody in this room today, because it is only last month that we had a national stakeholder conference to try and get everybody to join what we are calling a coalition of safety, a coalition of the willing.
As the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, we have attempted to make access to energy grow, in line with the government's commitment to achieving universal access by 2030 and transitioning to clean and sustainable energy solutions. However, as access improves, in line again with the demand, which continues to rise, safety must be the cornerstone of our progress. Because without it, then we are all doomed.
We've been able to put together a package which we'll be receiving at the end of this meeting today. This package contains material after the National Stakeholder Conference that we'll be able to utilize as individuals to be able to be our partners in disseminating this information. These brochures that you've seen up there in the presentation will also be availed to you digitally, so that then you can be able to utilize them in your campaigns, whether you're in the public sector or in the private sector or in the media, to ensure that this information reaches everybody, both above the line and also below the line.
I am also persuaded that you are aware of the statistics, very disturbing statistics, that paint the picture of the state of safety awareness in our country. It's also important to note that those numbers essentially translate to potential accidents and incidents that have the effect of affecting anyone, including ourselves. So I must take this opportunity to encourage all of us to carry the message of Car Safe Mtaani to our local communities and to all the people that we know.
Yeah, quite a timely launch. Now, A major boost for education and development is on the horizon for Nambale constituency in Busia County, with plans underway for the construction of a new campus by the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. Community members, local leaders and university officials held a public consultative forum in Kisoko where they gave their nod to the ambitious project. And as our reporter Susan Bulemi now reports, the new development is expected to transform the region both economically and academically.
It was a day of hope and vision in Kisoko, Nambale, as residents came together with officials from the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology to chart a new path for education and development. At the center of the discussions, the planned construction of a university campus in the area.
We want to firmly establish a university here. The reason why I'm saying university, even if it's a campus, it will grow to a university. So if you have a dream, don't start talking about we want to establish a campus here. We want to establish a university here. But it must start from somewhere, starting from being a campus. And we call upon the Busia County government, the Nambale NGCDF to partner with us so that we can move forward and ensure that the dream of a university here is a reality.
Speaking during the forum, Nambale Member of Parliament Geoffrey Mulanya urged locals to support the initiative, saying the presence of the university would uplift the local economy, open up job opportunities, and offer accessible higher education to students who currently have to travel long distances.
Tulete wanafunzi hapa wasome Jaramogi. Sino kweli? Itatusaidia sababu tukuwe na university na ina wanafunzi hawa watafunga wako na yao huko, wamekuja kushikilia sisi mkono kututembeza tupate huko mbele. Kila university, hata University of Nairobi ilikuwa branch of University of London. University ikikuja hapa vile walisema kuna mambo mengi sana yatakuja. Wale watu wanatoka hapa karibu, kazi iko hapa mingi. Kutakuwa na kazi hata kufungua hiyo gate. Si kazi.
From the university's side, Deputy Vice Chancellor's Assistant Agre Thuo highlighted the broader impact of the development, emphasizing that a university is not just about academics.
Umuhimu wa university hatuwezi kuelezea kwa maneno mengi. University sio masomo peke yake. Inaleta miundo msingi mingi. Vitu kama gani? Jobs, nafasi za ajira, biashara. Hata hapa pia wanakuja watu wengine wageni kutoka pande zingine. Na hiyo inaleta inaitwa cohesion ya nchi yetu.
While the campus will initially serve as a technical and vocational training center, the long-term goal is to upgrade it into a full-fledged university, bringing with it a new era of innovation and opportunity for the Western Kenya region.
Wale ambao tumetembea Alupe, ilivisha sehemu ya Alupe ikiunganisha hadi Busia. Kuna hasara kweli? Hakuna hasara. Kwa hivyo ikija hapa, let us embrace the institution, tuishikilie kana kwamba ni mtoto wetu ambaye tunalea na ambaye atakuja pia kutulea sisi kama jamii ya eneo hili. Because university ikija hapa, definitely people around will be empowered socially, economically, spiritually ni lazima. Tutakuwa na security, biashara kwa wingi.
Construction timelines are yet to be confirmed, but with the strong local support and university backing, the project is already being seen as a beacon of transformation for the people of Nambale. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Susan Bulemi.
Well, thank you, Susan. Now from Busia County, let us now shift the Catholic focus to Murang'a County, where residents and business owners in Keno's St. Michael area are counting heavy losses after flash floods hit the town, paralyzing transport and disrupting livelihoods. Hotels, high-end entertainment joints, residential homes and fuel stations are among the worst hit as flood waters surged through the area, forcing many businesses to shut down temporarily. According to Mushiri Karanja, a local businessman, the damage has been worsened by poor drainage systems which failed to channel the heavy rains away, leaving most of the area submerged. Restaurant owners are now lamenting a sharp drop in clientele, with flooded access roads keeping patrons away. Some have been forced to scale down operations, including reducing staff as the downpour continues to bite. For others, like James Ngone, a border rider who ferries meat to clients across the area, the flooded roads have made daily transport nearly impossible. Many are now forced to seek alternative routes, often longer and more dangerous. With more rain expected in the coming days, residents are calling on county authorities to urgently intervene and improve drainage infrastructure to prevent future crises.
Sasa ile shida tuko nayo sasa ni ya maji kwa area hiyo yote. Divu hapa tuko St. Michael opposite Mugendi. Sehemu hii yote ya chini kutoka huko Keno huko chini tunasumbuliwa sana ni maji kwa pande huu. Tuliahidiwa tutatengeneza barabara njia ya maji, karavati tutawekewa box ya kubeba maji mingi. Lakini wakati barabara ilifika hapa tukateta tukaenda kwa DC tukaambiwa sasa tutatengenezewa itawekwa bakifika hapa. Kutoka hapo tukaona barabara inakaribia, tukuja hapa tukaenda Sagana tukaambiwa tutawekewa. Sasa hakuna hatu kusaidika, hawakuweka, walirudisha karavati kidogo kuliko ile walikuta hapa.
Hii branding inatuaffect sana. Tunaona kukinyesha hadi kuingia customer akikuita na huko ndani unashindwa kuingia. So huwezi risk maisha yako. Unaona petrol imejaa maji, mtu ukuje uweke mafuta na kuja kumejaa maji washafunga. Tuna kubidi urudi tena uende ukatafuta bali utaweka mafuta.
Classic Boutique Hotel iko hapa. Tumekuwa na shida ya barabara wakati huu wa mvua imekuwa mingi, barabara imeharibika, hata biashara pia imeharibika. Hata tulikuwa tunapata wateja ambao walikuwa wanaingia kwa hoteli, lakini kwa vile barabara imeharibika hakuna mteja hata mmoja anaweza ingia kwa hoteli. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali na wahisani wote tuungane tuone kama wanaweza saidia hii barabara. At least hata watu wengine wale walikuwa wameajiriwa kazi wapate ajira. Tulikuwa na wafanyikazi 8 na sasa tumebaki na wafanyikazi 2. Kwa hivyo pia ni pigo kwa sababu hata hao wamesimamishwa kazi pia hawana ajira. Wito wetu tusaidiwe na serikali vile inaweza kutusaidia. Kwa sababu kuna investor wengi wanaweka mabiashara, lakini hii maji inatuzubua. Si hata biashara hii yangu tu ya hoteli, kuna mabiashara mingi kubwa pande hii. Mafactory ya kusaga unga, mafactory ya nini ya kuweka gasi, biashara mingi. Lakini zote zinakuwa kwa sababu ya maji. Tunaenda hasara kwa sababu kama tulikuwa tunapata rooms kama 10 ikijaa wageni, that's almost 20,000. Kwa hivyo tunaenda hasara ya kitu 50 to 70,000 kwa kila siku.
From Murang'a, let's head to Kiambu County, where a dramatic scene unfolded outside the Kiambu residence of Governor Paul Kimani Wamatangi as Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officers, backed by police, moved in to escort him for questioning over alleged misappropriation of public funds. Tension quickly escalated in Kibiku village, Kabete, as a section of residents attempted to block the officers, accusing them of political witch hunt and rallying behind the governor. Police responded by firing tear gas to disperse the crowd, clearing the way for Governor Wamatangi to be escorted to record a statement with the ESCC. Here's how the standoff played out.
Tumesikia amevamiwa kutoka saa 10 asubuhi. Gavana wetu nini amefanya? Ametuletea maendeleo kwa Kiambu. Ametupatia kuku na nini. Wanaanza kuimpiti kwa ajili ya bure. Hii ni mabaya. Watutishia Wamatangi wetu. Hakuna kitu kingine tunataka. Hakuna kitu Wamatangi amefanya. Hakuna, ni maendeleo tu. Unamwonea wivu.
Leo kutoka saa 10 askari walikuwa hapa, wakaenda wakadisplay kole Wangige. Pale Wangige walikuja saa 10 wakatudanganya ati President Ruto anakuja, ndio wakuja kwa governor. Sasa kitu saa 1 ndio tumejua wako hapa kwa governor kuja kumshika, na tunajua ya ukweli governor wetu amefanyia Kiambu kazi. He has made a great battle. Vurugu, hakukuwa na vurugu wakifanya hiyo investigation yao. Sasa saa ile vurugu imekuja ni vile wamebeba gavana wetu na hatujui wamempeleka mpaka wapi. Hata sisi ndio tunataka tujue pale yako.
Kwa ufupi, it's very unfair. It's very unfair because governor ameshughulikia watu wote wa Kiambu, na hapa ni kwake kwa nyumba, na wanakuja kwa nyumba, hata wanatupiga na tear gas, wanapiga even live bullets, wanapiga so it is very unfair. It's very unfair. Kimani. Kimani nani? Kimani. Jina ni Kimani.
Well, moving forward is that government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has issued a stern warning to secondary school principals who continue to withhold KCSE certificates from students who have completed their Form 4 education. Speaking at a public engagement, Mwaura called on school heads to release the documents without delay, emphasizing that the certificates are essential for the students to pursue further education or seek employment opportunities. He underscored that withholding academic certificate is a serious offense, noting that any principal found guilty of the practice will face disciplinary action. Mwaura further urged education stakeholders to support government efforts aimed at ensuring that all learners are granted equal access to opportunities after high school.
The government is aware that despite repeated directives, some school heads continue to unlawfully withhold certificates for students over fees-related issues. This is not only illegal, but it is unacceptable. A national examination certificate is a property of the learner. Denying any student access to their academic credentials undermines the very foundation of our education system and compromises the right of the child. Because even if you hold on to it, how will it benefit you as a teacher? The government will thus not tolerate this continued defiance of its directive and impunity, and stern action will be taken against schools who continue to defy these instructions. So that is to all the teachers. All county directors of education are now directed to comply and to submit a list of all the people, the staff and the head teachers who are not adhering to this directive, and a report will be submitted to the Ministry of Education within 14 days to ensure that we have a proper status of uncollected certificates. And Kenyans should also be able to volunteer this information. Any principal found culpable will face disciplinary and legal consequences. The government has instructed all the officials of the ministry to take immediate and firm action against any individual.
Now from the local arena, let's now flap the wings of the Catholic focus to international levels, where the war in Sudan between the Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces has now engulfed most of the country, sparking what is being described as the world's largest and most devastating humanitarian crisis. More than 30 million people, over half of the country's population, are in urgent need of assistance as the violence continues. Millions have been forced from their homes, and the struggle to survive grows more desperate each day. To mark 2 years since the conflict began, and ahead of the high-level ministerial conference on Sudan taking place in London today, leaders from faith-based networks and religious communities issued a joint statement warning, and I quote, "The situation in Sudan is dire, and without a concerted, strong push for peace talks, the conflict will only worsen. The international community cannot continue to turn a blind eye to Sudan. We must act decisively to bring the parties to the negotiation table and work towards a sustainable resolution of the conflict." End of quote. Here is a short clip courtesy of the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development, CAFOD, capturing the current reality on the ground.
لأن شنو احنا قاعدين بس متوكلين والله أنا بتمنى إن شاء الله ربنا يوقف الحرب ده ونرجع البلد ونكونوا زي زمان وكل شيء. والله جابتنا النزوح والحروبات دي طبعا، وابونا ده طبعا له سنة كاملة ما فيش. يلا المهم احنا حسي والله بس جارين نلقط، مرات نلقى مرات ما بنلقى، لو شغالين من رزق اليوم لليوم، مرات نمشي نكسر حطب، يعني نجيب الحطب ده نربطه، نقوم نشتري حطب ده، مرات يعني هنا بنلقى قروش، مرات ما بنلقى، نمشي الحلة دي طبعا نشتغلوا نلقطوا البامية ونقوم نقطع البامية دي، السبت كله ب 400 جنيه، يعني مرات لما تجي انت ب 800 جنيه دي هنا ربع بتاع دقيقة، يا ريت ما بتجيبوا لك. جاد المنظمة بتاعت كفوت دي اشتغلت بنا الحمامات دي وكنا نعاني من المويه شديد، والحاجات دي برضو المويه جاتنا الحمد لله، حسي كله بعد اليوم الثاني يجي التانكر يفضل لنا المويه، حسي الحمد لله ارتحنا من المويه دي، يعني الحمد لله.
So that situation right there, dear viewer, remains dire, with 10 million people having been displaced within Sudan, while over 3 million have fled across the country borders. A brief lull in fighting in Khartoum has seen some return to the capital, hopeful for peace, yet uncertain of what lies ahead. The international community is now under increasing pressure to act, not just with words, but with decisive, life-saving action. Well, as the Catholic community, we also stand with the people of Sudan. All right, on the sports desk is that in the world of sports, all eyes are on Villa Park tonight as Aston Villa prepare to host French giants PSG in the return leg of the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals. With the sport in the semi-finals on the line, both sides are expected to field their strongest lineups in what promises to be a high-stakes showdown. The winner of tonight's clash will face off against either Borussia Dortmund or Barcelona, who are also set to lock horns later this evening in their own return leg fixture. And as our sports reporter Paul Oji explains, football fans across the globe are eagerly anticipating the outcomes, with the race to the final heating up and no room for error.
League quarterfinals, where fans are expecting top-tier entertainment from the clubs vying for the most prestigious title in the European football. In the first leg, Spanish giant Barcelona sent a strong message to their rivals with a commanding 4-0 victory over Germans Borussia Dortmund. Now, as they prepare for the return leg, they hold a significant advantage, but they also understand that anything can happen in football. Dortmund have nothing to lose. They'll need a miracle to get back into the tie. But the history of this competition has always shown us that comebacks are always possible. Meanwhile, France PSG will face England's Aston Villa going into the second leg with a 3-0 lead from the first match. PSG are hopeful to maintaining their good form and booking a place in the semi-finals. But Aston Villa will be looking to turn things around in front of their home crowd, fueled by passion and determination.
Here's Rashford. Ahead of him is Yuri Tielemans. Can he pull it back at the far side? Morgan Rogers. 1-0 to Aston Villa. It's 1-0 to Aston Villa. Lovely work. Towards Nuno Mendes. Got plenty of numbers forward of PSG. Doué now moving infield, making an angle for a shot. Gets it away and it's into the back of the net. Going forward and he's firing into the net.
Well, oh my! Who's got a big start tonight? In by Fermin. It's in the back post. Waiting on Martinez is waiting. And there's Koumarsi, and Barca take the lead. Here's Girassi. Oh, and he wants to go on his own. Dinks it in towards Rafinha and Lewandowski, and Barca lead by 2-0.
Fans across the globe are eagerly waiting to see who will progress and move step closer to lifting the coveted Champions League trophy this season. Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm Paul.
Well, Willie Rose reminds me that tomorrow Arsenal will be squaring it out with Real Madrid. Anyway, for Real Madrid and Arsenal fans, I'm not one of them. We can talk about Man U later off the cuff. Well, and that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Catholic Focus. From the urgent calls for energy safety and educational equity to the voices seeking peace in conflict-torn Sudan, these stories remind us of the power of leadership, community, and action. On behalf of the entire news team here on the Catholic Focus Capuchin TV, including my co-anchor, sign language interpreter Eric Maloki, and myself, Asasha Elizabeth, we extend our gratitude for you. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue to be the light in our communities and always stay safe. See you soon.
Ma, aje, ma.